2021. And I read, 5 containers of rosewood meant for export have been impounded at the Tema port. The containers were impounded on the 17th of June 2021 after officials of the Energy Commission raised suspicion they possibly contained illegal charcoal. Seizure notices were placed on the containers after Energy Commission officials raised red flags, making it impossible for the containers to be exported. When some of the containers were eventually opened about a week later, it was confirmed the locks were rosewood. The scheduled export was happening at a time when government has insisted it has banned the harvesting, transportation and export of rosewood as part of efforts to save the endangered species. My brother, my sister, we've talked about this rosewood thing time and again. It takes one rosewood plant a maximum of 50 years to reach maturity. In other words, if you gave birth to a child today and you planted one rosewood, before you could harvest this rosewood, it would have to be between 45 and 50 years. At what time your child would have only 10 years to retire. That's if this child was working in the civil service. My brother, my sister, it is so difficult to plant rosewood. And rosewood has a certain special quality or characteristic. What it does is that it protects a lot of other trees around it, other flora species around it, because it normally grows tall and it has this beautiful foliage, umbrella-like foliage that is able to cover some other plants. My brother, my sister, it benefits the soil and at the same time helps protect other species, including both flora and fauna. My brother, my sister, recently, apart from destroying our country with galamsey, Chinese appetite for African resources discovered that yes, rosewood was also here. As to how they found it, my brother, my sister, your girls is as good as mine. We see Chinese people come here with their loans. They give us all the loans and all the support. But at the end of it all, a lot of the destruction that goes on in our country pertaining to the environment, we have all fingered a lot of Chinese people involved in that. Much as we say Chinese, we are not discounting the fact that a lot of our own Ghanaian people are those that take them to the points where they can protect them in order for them to destroy our environment. My brother, my sister, the government came out and boasted that yes, rosewood harvesting has stopped. My checks in the northern region, in the Bulsa areas, my brother, my sister, revealed that this wanton destruction of the forest is still going on. My brother, my sister, in some cases, the police even aid in the harvesting of this rosewood and take money from the perpetrators. And you claim that you are independent. You claim that you are patriotic. You claim that the country is not doing well. You claim that, yes, look, you would continue removing president after president. You will continue going on demonstration after demonstration. If your attitudes do not change, you would only be pouring water in baskets. My brother, my sister, you cry and you want the government to fix street lights. Well, after some time, the government decides to fix the street lights. It is the same Ghanaians who go out and steal the bulbs and even cut the metal holding the bulbs to sell as scraps. You claim that you do not have traffic lights. Government comes out to fix the traffic lights, and the next scrap consignment to China contains our street lights and also our traffic lights. My brother, my sister, anything that you cry for what reason you want the government to be kicked out and another set of people in, if our attitudes do not change, my brother, my sister, we will not go anywhere. That is why I keep advocating that the government must sit up and push the agenda of attitudes. Putting people on social media to do propaganda is foolishness, when the reality on the ground is nothing but porous. And you put people out to do propaganda, you only would be seen as a stupid dictator whose mind is only on paying people to talk and not to reason. And that way, our country can never move on. I hate it when I have to draw inferences from the West. Why do I hate it? These were the same people who came down to enslave us, the same people who came down to colonize us, and right after that to neo-colonize us. So when I draw inferences from them, it hurts me so bad, because by now we should have been on our feet. When you go to America, you go to England and even China or Japan and even Korea, and the police is looking for one man, the number of people who would call the police and say, it looks like we've seen this man here, it looks like we have seen that man here, and quickly the police will step in and arrest this perpetrator, and this is for the good or in the interest of the whole populace. Because if this man is a terrorist and he's arrested, my brother, my sister, in fact, you are saved a certain level of terrorism. If this man was a thief and he got arrested, your assets at least are also protected, because you don't know when a thief will decide to visit you. But in our country, my brother, my sister, it's not like that. We protect thieves depending on what religion they belong to, depending on what tribes they belong to. Let a Voltairean thief be chased from Accra. All he needs to do is to go to Angloga, and they will prepare Akpela and Fetiridechi for him, and they will even dance Bobobo for him, because he has escaped from his enemies. And who are the enemies? The state. That Angloga is part of the state. Let one idiotic terrorist run away from the authorities right here in Accra and go all the way to Gushegu Karaga. My brother, my sister, the people there are going to provide Tuozafi and me and Kuka for him, whilst they are dancing Damba in front of him and welcoming him and celebrating him as the thief who has been bold enough to run away from his enemies. And who are the enemies? The state. That Gushegu Karaga is part of. We need education, because common sense does not seem to work anymore, my brother, my sister. In my days, we were told that hard work pays. Today, can you say that to the most stupid child that you can find? When they see people flaunting wealth on social media, people driving cars, yet they sleep 25 hours a day. They do not work. All they do is to sit behind a certain computer for a few minutes, and then the next thing is that they are walking to the bank. In these times, hard work never pays. It is skullduggery. It is tricks. My brother, it's slyness that pays. It's not about smartness anymore. It's about being sly. And being smart is different from being sly. To be smart is to be positively gifted with knowledge. To be sly is to use the knowledge to do negative things. That is the difference between slyness and smartness. My brother, my sister, rosewood will continue to be harvested as long as our attitudes do not change. We will aid foreigners to harvest this rosewood. We will aid foreigners to do galamsey. We will shoot down our own people. Right after we stop shooting, they are back on the galamsey field and also on the rosewood market. Go to China. Go as a Ghanaian looking for Chinese to help you degrade the land in China. They will report you immediately. That's if you are lucky. They don't slaughter you there immediately. Go to America and say that you are looking for Americans to help you find a piece of land where you can destroy and get gold. They will report you to the authorities if you are lucky. They don't slaughter you immediately. It's the same thing in Japan, same thing in Korea, same thing, my brother, my sister, in so many different so-called developed countries. Why is it not like that with us? Any Tom and Dick and Harry from any country can come into this country. Some non-entities would all of a sudden become kings and queens. Our chiefs and kings will give them diadems on their heads. They will crown them Nkoswahini, all because they brought $100 from America. They will crown them Nkoswahini, all because they built a borehole that cost $400. They will give them 10 ladies from the royal family to marry, all because they gave the chief $200 to fertilize his farm. Why are we so cheap? Why is it that our morals have been flung to the dogs? My brother, listen to me. I am not a preacher. My brother, my sister, I am not prophesying. You don't need a prophet to tell you this. If our attitudes do not change, we will continue to pour water in baskets. If we succeed in kicking out Nana Addo from his sleepy seat, we will not achieve anything if our attitudes remain the same. If we bring back Mahama into power, we will not achieve anything, my brother, my sister, if our attitudes do not change. Even if we bring God into the presidency, we shall never achieve anything if our attitudes don't change. God will provide us with everything as President God. We shall destroy everything with our attitudes because we have no brains. We are stupid. We have not been schooled. We don't sit down to even think twice about the next generation. All we are thinking about is to eat and fill our belly, for tomorrow we die. My brother, I said this with so much pain. When are we going to learn to change our attitudes? When are we going to learn to think about our own children that we are hatching every day and every night? One man who is unemployed has 17 children. He is not thinking about how he will take care of the children. All he tells you is that God provides. No planning, nothing. All these 17 children are growing on the streets like stray animals. My brother, my sister, if they are lucky, 16 of them become armed robbers and only one of them becomes a truck pusher. 16 of them become armed robbers and Sakawa boys because they were grown on the streets like stray animals. They slept on the streets. Their own father was only a sperm donor who jumped from one house to the other, hatching children. My brother, my sister, until our attitudes change, nothing would happen. And all the presidents we have had in Ghana, only 2 presidents tried to talk about our attitudes. The first one was Kwame Nkrumah. Even before he took the seat as president on the 6th of March at the Polo Grounds, he shouted, after saying our independence was meaningless unless it was linked up with the total liberation of the whole of Africa, he said, it is time now to change our attitudes. I've said this time and again. Nkrumah foresaw that he would fail if our attitudes was nothing but abysmal. If our attitude was nothing but abysmal. If our attitude was nothing but stinking. From the days of Nkrumah up till now, our stinking attitudes, my brother, my sister, have kept us enslaved to uncircumcised Gentiles. Today, we all fight LGBT, whatever it is, my brother, my sister, with all the passion and all the anger. If we used a quarter of the anger that we used to fight gay, lesbian, and homosexual, whatever it is, my brother, my sister, a quarter of that energy, we will transform this country into the next El Dorado. But no. One man claims he's poor. He's a truck pusher. He has 7 children who are basking to the glory of the streets. One woman does not know how she would eat. All that is in her mind is to lie down on another man's bed so that she can eat. At the end of the day, she has 13 children with 14 different fathers. How I will explain that, I don't know. Our attitudes are very important. Apart from Kwame Nkrumah talking about attitudes, the next person who tried to do something about attitudes was Aliu Mahama. Aliu Mahama was talking about throwing things on the road. Remember the war against indiscipline. Aliu Mahama tried it, and today, if people are not throwing so much rubbish from trotros and taxis like it used to be in my days, you have to give credit to a man like Aliu Mahama. He was not my favorite politician. He was not even a politician at all. He was a contractor who was forced into politics. But he did what he did. My brother, my sister, today, people are not throwing so much rubbish like they used to do. In my days, when I first came to Accra, the whole of Accra was like a rubbish dump, like Oblogo Bola. Everybody was throwing things from Trotro. If you made a mistake and ate ice cream and threw the wrapper in the Trotro, the mate will tell you, oh, throw it out. Why? You want to make the car dirty? In my days. Today, my brother, my sister, at least there is hope. We know that that thing worked to some extent. And if we dealt with the attitude of the people, things will get better. But we have leaders who have no vision. They have eyes, yet they have no vision. They have strength, yet they have no energy. My brother, my sister, they have brains, yet they have no knowledge. Think about it. How many leaders will take it upon themselves to deal with the attitudes of the people? Don't leave that to only teachers and lecturers. How are they going to do it? That is so easy. If adverts are all over on TV, and 90% of all that we see is nothing but foreign, teaching you how to become gay, teaching you how to become bleached, teaching you how to wear false hair, teaching you gangsterism, and the rest of the 10% is also taken by dirty politicians and malams and pastors who have nothing to preach but money laundering. How can the attitudes change? How can the attitudes change? My brother, my sister, Rosewood, they've got it at the Tema Harbor. But that's another thing. Where will they take it to? Who is the perpetrator? Is the person going to suffer for doing this to us? You will be shocked that they will end up freeing these people. And I will not be surprised if they are Chinese. I will not be surprised they will free them. After all, Osafu Mafu did that 2 times. Remember Aisha Huang, Helena Huang? They were both flown out of this country in pomp and pageantry with all celebration. They danced Adwa and Agbaja whilst their planes were flying back to China. But people have stolen 1 plantain. They are in jail. Somebody stole 1 fowl. He's in jail. But those who wantonly destroyed our land, nah, They are okay. My brother, my sister, I pray that the authorities will continue to work. And I want to say something to the authorities. It doesn't matter how many hundreds are corrupt. If there is one clean-hearted person, it makes a difference. You will see that all 100 will be scared of you. They don't want you to see. They'll be telling other people, oh, don't let this man see. When he sees it, he will do the right thing. Some of them gradually will learn from you. I don't agree that you go to Rome and do what the Romans do. When you go to Rome, my brother, my sister, do what is right. That's it. Right has never failed. Doing the right thing has never failed, has never been wrong. They say when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. You join the police service, everybody's taking bribe. As a young police person, you also start taking bribe, because the 60-year-olds who lie that they are, in fact, 40-year-olds. The police service, some of them are 80 years, they lie there, in fact, 51. They are still there. You see them so old. And you ask them if this is their football age. They are there. Corruption all over the place. How would the country grow? Where are their birth certificates? What are they doing to authenticate the identities of Ghanaians? Anybody can swear any affidavit at any time and change his age from 80 to 32. And they are still there. When he realizes he's retiring, he will cut off 20 years from his age, so that he can run another 20 years. They are those who sleep like the president. Too old to serve. They will sleep day in and day out. All they know to do is to take bribe with this police and the rest of them. And it doesn't help anybody. In some countries, when you are retiring from service, you are clapping for yourself. Your family is clapping for you because you have lived a life worthy of emulation. It's not easy for you to work all the way to retirement. So when you are retiring, you retire in pomp and pageantry. You retire when the applause is loudest. You retire and you are proud that you have retired, because the benefits that you will get. Hey, my brother. So when you go abroad, many are those who are working very hard in order to retire well. Not here. When we are retiring, it's like a curse. We haven't taken enough bribe. We haven't stolen enough. We want another 20 years to steal and to take bribe. Why? Why? Why must it be like that? Nobody's honest with their age. Right from your football teams, all the way through the volleyball teams, even the disabled people. People with disability, my brother, my sister, are beginning to lie about their ages. When you live in a country where nobody wants to tell you their age, I am +1 today, say happy birthday to me. All over social media, everybody is +1. Everybody has become a toddler, +1. Nobody tells you that, oh, I am 41, I am 46. No. Age shaming. You live in a country where there is what is called age shaming. From when you mention your age, aye, and the man saying, aye, himself is 10 years older than you, but he has reduced it by 30 years, so he looks young on paper. To the point that musicians even call other musicians Olu. Yet those calling other musicians Olu are even older than these people they called Olu. Age shaming. We have no respect for experience anymore. Everybody is interested in stealing. They say before you join the army, you must be a certain age. Do you want to join the army? You are 10 years past the army age. You reduce it by 20 years. You shave your mustache and go there and smile. How old are you? You are supposed to be 41. Then says, I'm just 20. Say, oh, yeah. Show me your birth certificate. They show the birth certificate. My brother, his firstborn is 32 years. And he tells you that he himself is 20 years. Hey, what magic. What is happening? Huh? That is why when Ghanaians retire, Most of them do not go beyond 2 years. They die within the 2 years. Because their civil servant age is 20 years below their real age. Jesus have mercy. Attitudes must change. Attitudes must change. That is why every time I come on radio, I mention the day I was born, and exactly what year I was born, what time I was born, and what happened on the day that I was born, and what I even weighed at the time of birth. Some people say it's spiritual when you say that witches will chase you and catch you. Witches are invited. Come. A country that explains everything in witchcraft and wizardry. If you have to drink water, you have to call your malam to ask him, oh, it's 1 p.m. My God! May I drink water right now? And malam says, oh, wait until it's 1:06. Then you drink. When you drink one, you say, Subhanallah. You drink another one, say, grrr, and then you do it. Everything you do is explained in a certain kind of witchcraft and wizardry. When you have a blessing right now, no. You refuse it because you think that it is a witchcraft plot from your village. May God help us. But I am waiting for the leader who would help with our attitudes. Market women are not honest anymore. Tomatoes that cost 10 Ghana. Let somebody come and wear a tie. It's a man. We say, wait, 10 Ghana tomatoes will become 30 Ghana cedis right now. And then they will sell it to you. And they are happy that they've gone home with stolen money, dishonest money. I leave it here, my brother, my sister. Today we have so many things to talk about. Until our attitudes change. You go to America. Every shop you enter, if the price is 1 cedi or $1, it is $1 for the Chinese, $1 for the Indian, $1 for the American, $1 for even the Arabian. Not here. In Ghana, one product has 6 million prices. Depends on whether you wear coat or tie. Depends on whether you are white or yellow. Depends on whether you have an accent or not. The price can change. Hallelujah. I leave it here, my brother, my sister. I tackle another thing. This is quite dicey, and I need you to open your ears. But let us look at it. I'm reading this, my brother, my sister, from Graphic Online. That's the national communicator. And it says, this one was published today at 10:38 in the morning. And this one is curled from the BBC. It says, former South Africa President Zuma gets 15-month jail term. And I read, South Africa's former President Jacob Zuma has been sentenced to 15 months by the highest court in the country. The jail sentence comes after the Constitutional Court found him guilty of contempt for defying its order to appear at an inquiry into corruption whilst he was president. Mr. Zuma's time in power, which ended in 2018, was dogged by graft allegations. Businessmen were accused of conspiring with politicians to influence the decision-making process. The former president made one appearance at an inquiry into what has become known as the state capture, but then refused to appear subsequently. The inquiry, headed by Justice Raymond Zondo, asked the Constitutional Court to intervene. Mr. Zuma has been given 5 days to hand himself in at a police station. If he fails to do that, the police minister must order his arrest. I'll leave it here. My brother, this is former President Zuma. You all remember Thabo Mbeki. He came in and did whatever he did. Listen, if I had read further, you would have seen all these things. Zuma's own party stood against Zuma. And what Zuma's party is? The ANC, African National Congress. Their own party went over to Zuma and said, hey, Zuma, you are corrupt. Leave the seat. And Zuma still tried to redeem himself by setting up a certain inquiry or an investigation into allegations of corruption. But that did not save him. He had to go to the highest court. My brother, my sister, there is a powerful family in South Africa called the Guptas. The Guptas, they are Indians. They control South Africa. They use power and energy, my brother, my sister, amidst bribery and so many other things, as we are told, to have a grip on South Africa. In Ghana, there's a family like that too. I'll keep that name. Hey, my brother, my sister, Thabo Mbeki was there. The party came up to Thabo Mbeki and said, hey, you two get out of the place, please. And Zuma came in. When Zuma came in, he was also found to be corrupt amidst allegations of rape. Remember the cartoonist who was arrested because he cartooned Zuma raping a woman in South Africa. As for Zuma, he says he's a Zulu and he can marry as many women as he wants. And when you look at some of those traditions, my brother, my sister, you would agree with me that we need some reforms in our own tradition. Now Zuma is going to jail for 15 months. Bribery, corruption. That's what we've been talking about. A president is in power. And he's a nepotistic president. All he does is nepotism. Oh, this is my brother's sister's auntie. Only foot soldiers will be employed here. My brother, my sister, only foot soldiers will be employed. And foot soldiers become the only people employed. If you don't belong to my party, no employment for you. That's what they're talking about. Corruption. But the thing I want to share with you today is this. Zuma's own party was responsible for saying, Mbeki out. Now they said, Zuma, you two out. Zuma's own party stood firm, my brother, my sister, and criticized its own government because they wanted a better government for the people. Have you heard of Ubuntu before? Ubuntu means you are because I am. And I am because you are. That is what it is. Ubuntu. U-B-U-N-T-U. Ubuntu. You are because I am. And I am because you are. It means that if you are not there, I am not there. If I am not there, you are also not there. Your inactions would mean negative for me. Your actions would mean something for me, and vice versa. In this country, no. Every rot, every foolishness by the president is supported by every member of the party. Not one genuine member of the party. All of them are corrupt. They are all thieves. The president's actions are always defended by stupid party foot soldiers who have metamorphosed into party communicators who are paid to talk and not to think. True or false? When have you heard or seen one member of a party in the name of the communications team talking against the president of his party? No, they don't do that. It has become a cult. Better still, an occultic group. Nobody speaks the truth. Mr. President can fly to any country of his choice in a chartered flight that costs 50,000 pounds an hour. He needs 2 bathrooms in the plane. He needs a big bed, 2 of them in the plane. He needs to take a shower in the plane. He needs to eat all exotic foods. My brother, my sister, no party member talks about it. They are quiet. I remember in the days of Mahama, these were the same people who used to send me messages, Oh, Blakk Rasta, have you seen what Mahama is doing? Mahama and his people have gone to do this. I do my investigations and come out and throw fire. Today, those same people are quiet because their sleepy president is in power. Thank God Ghanaians believe me. Thank God Ghanaians know that I don't need all these people. Nothing from them. Nothing. I don't need anything from Mr. President. All I need is for the president to be able to sit up and look towards the interest of the people. That is what I need. You won't see me go after any MP or go after any minister of state and say, please help me with 10 pesos because I'm hungry. Nothing like that will never happen. So I say what I want to say. Because I don't take anything from them. I don't need anything from them. That is the behavior all of us should have. Do you think Zuma's party could have walked up to Zuma to say, get out of the place, if they were all bootlickers and sycophants running after him and asking him to give this and to give that? That is the attitude. Zongo minister's office go there like 2 billion people from Nima. 2 billion people from Ashaiman, all of them are sitting there, and all you hear is, oh, wallahi, Allah, wallahi, Allah, all over the place. All because of Zongo minister. All of them are waiting for him to come out and say, take 1 peso, take 1 Ghana. None of them is ready to get a job. Laziness all over the place. Laziness. Oh, my brother is the minister of the Zongo. So for that matter, there's no need to work. What kind of attitude is this? What kind of attitude is this, brethren and sisters? Think deeply about this. Now Zuma is going to jail. The good news is that it is time for Ghana to also bring Mahama forward to face the judges. And the government in power needs to do that. When you guys were in opposition, you made the loudest noise. Canada Japan has spoken time and again that Mahama is a thief. Mahama is a thief according to Canada Japan. Is it not time to pull him before the courts like they did to Zuma? My brother, if we are able to do this, any other government that comes in power will know that there is a day of reckoning, and that day of reckoning is equivalent to the judgment day in all the religions that you all believe in. But no, it's a chess game. Presidents have become chess mates. They play chess, and when it's time for you to win, then you win and you take all the spoils. When it's time for me to win, I take all the spoils, and nobody talks against the other. They have agreed that it's a court where nobody will be crucified. You only go there and use the taxpayer as the sacrificial lamb. Am I making sense, brethren? That is what it is. May Zuma go to 15 months in jail and enjoy the jail. If there's a way to extend it, depending on whether he deserves it or not, so be it. It's time to bring President Mahama too. Let the then opposition now in power prove in court that the man stole this. Canada Japan has said it time and again. He's a thief. He stole money. He went to Dubai, took how many girls there, had sex with all of them. Okay. We thank you for all that wonderful information. Recently, a gentleman on his station was also talking about the fact that, the IGP and they know who the criminals are. What has happened to that issue? Hey, this country, are we okay? If IGP knows the criminals and those who did ABCD, and somebody can come on TV and swear that IGP knows, and if the IGP doesn't come out, he will spew the information out, and everywhere is quiet. Are we accomplices? Have we voted into power? Arrogant accomplices, fools in power, unpatriotic homo sapiens in power. What is it? Talking about Canada Japan, there's something about Canada Japan here that I need you to look at, and this was published just today. In fact, I'm reading this from City Newsroom, and it says defamation suit, Canada Japan's bribery claims against Anas rejected in his testimony. I read. The High Court on Tuesday, June 29, 2021, that's today, ruled to stop the Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Canada, Japan, from testifying to alleged bribery attempts Anas Armiya Anas made on former FA President Kwesi Nyantakyi in the run-up to the premiering of Anas's expose on football in Ghana, number 12. The investigative journalist sued the Member of Parliament for 25 million Ghana cedis following the lawmaker's public commentary on the number 12 documentary. In his evidence in chief, Mr. Canada Japan alleged that the ACE investigative journalist approached the then FA President Kwesi Nyantakyi to pay $150,000 and have either portions of the documentary implicating Mr. Nyantakyi removed from the piece or to have the premiering of the entire piece stopped. I hope you make a meaning out of it. Mr. Ejapon further alleged that Mr. Nyantakyi raised only $100,000 of the demanded sum, but was vehemently rejected by the investigative journalist, who then proceeded to premiere the damning piece. Mr. Anas Armiya Anas's lawyers, however, raised objections to the narrations, describing them as hearsay. They argued that the said matters were neither altered by Mr. Japan, nor were they within his knowledge, personal knowledge, and that allowing him to testify to such contentious matters would be offensive to the rules of evidence. Justice Eric Barr of the General Jurisdiction Court 2 Division of the High Court agreed with Mr. Anas's lawyers on this and upheld the objections. My brother, my sister, if you read further, Canada Japan in court today insulted Anas's lawyer and called him a fool in court. Because Anas's lawyer, Samida Akon, said that Canada Japan needed to be told and his mind needed to be refreshed about why he was in court and on what issue he was in court for. And Canada Japan saw that as an insult, and he said, I am an MP. You cannot talk to me like that. You are a fool in court. Anas's lawyer, Samida Aku, then said, Your Honor, my Lord, this is a witness who is using these words on a member of the court. They have their own terms. This is contempt of court, and he does not even qualify to be a witness. So Anas's lawyer was pushing for Canada Japan to be slapped with contempt of court, the same way Zuma was slapped with contempt of court. But the judge finally said Mr. Japan should apologize for what he said. And he duly apologized and withdrew whatever he said. My brother, my sister, I like it when people are given the opportunity to talk. Because in the midst of the talking, if 99% is even chaff, at least you find 1% that carries water, and we can work with that 1%. It is better for a country to talk chaff than for a country to be gagged in silence. That is why I uphold the freedom of speech. Some of us strived only because of the freedom of speech. But much as freedom of speech exists, we must know that our freedoms end at where somebody else's begins. My brother, my sister, let's make meaning out of this. Canada Japan goes to court. He gets angry. And in front of the judge, he calls the lawyer a fool. And all the lawyer does is, all the judge does is apologize. Even though Anas's lawyer was asking for contempt, and Canada Japan apologized and pulled it back. You all remember a few days ago, Mr. Japan was at the 37 military hospital where he cut the sword for the building of about 80 bed hospital, an 80-bed hospital. We all praised him. We all said, fine. Is it that Kennedy Japan has anger issues? Does he have anger issues? Because a lot of the time, I see him apologize. He would insult with so much anger. Insult from morning till night. And the next moment he's apologizing. A man who always insults or takes decisions, makes decisions, and then turns back on those decisions must actually have anger problems. Do you agree with me? I insult you right now, call you all sorts of names. The next day I come back and I say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said this. It means that you are not in control of your departments. Better still, you are not in control of your faculties. True or false? I want to leave it here. But my brother, my sister, the law in Ghana needs to stand up and do some very strong things. It's good Anas is doing what he's doing. If Anas is really corrupt, we want to be able to see. We want to stamp out illegality, corruption, and criminality from our country so we can have a better country. Do you agree with me? When Kennedy Japan came out and talked about Anas being corrupt, and he showed some videos left, right, and center to the point of even pointing out some of the people around Anas, including Ahmed Swale, who was shot and killed in broad daylight. The case has not really gone anywhere. Kennedy Japan came out and pointed who killed Ahmed Swale, but the police, I don't know what kind of chess game is going on. My brother, we leave it here. The person who was pointed as the person who killed Ahmed Swale only came out a few days later to say, me, I'm here. I never killed anybody. What is the police saying about it? Police also denied it. So who is speaking the truth? What a country. What a country. Politicians don't go to jail. Presidents never stand on trial. Presidents have all the power. They own the finance minister. They own the attorney general. They own the IGP. They own everybody who matters. How can they be culpable? The presidents in Ghana are too powerful. Commander of the national what forces. One man who sleeps every day is the commander of national what forces. A man who cannot even command a fly. He sleeps day in and day out. He's the commander of the national armed forces. What commander? Commanding who? My brother, I'm going to look at the last issue and I'm sure that will be done for the day. This one is very thorny. It says 2 dead, 4 injured as military and police clash with protesting Ijra youth. This one was published today as well at 11:42 a.m. I read, and I'm reading this from my Joy Online. It says 2 people have died whilst 4 others are injured after some protesting youth of Ijra Sechidumasi clashed with the military and police on Tuesday morning. That's today. Since the death of the 40-year-old Ibrahim Muhammad, aka Kaka, the youth say they are willing to sacrifice their life until they get justice. The youth stormed the police station on Tuesday morning to inquire about the extent of investigations regarding the murder of their colleague, stressing that they want the police to leave no stone unturned in bringing the perpetrators to book. Although the police told them they had arrested 2 people in connection with the crime, the agitated protesters said it was just a facade. The youth described the deceased as a crusader for the community who spoke the truth, who spoke truth to power and requested for developmental projects for the area. Thus, they cannot fathom why he was attacked and murdered in such a manner. Pressing home their demand for justice, the youth hit the streets and were met by the military and the police personnel. 4 soldiers were seen moving in a horizontal line with a police water cannon, charging on the protesters. Initially, the military started shooting into the sky, but at some point, when the protesters charged, the military personnel started shooting into the crowd. 2 people were hit, and the crowd scattered, with some of the protesters running to seek shelter in nearby houses. According to Joy News' Erastus Asaridonko, the anger of the youth in the area is palpable, even though they were dispersed initially. He reported that they have regrouped and are charging on the security personnel from both sides of the road. My brother, my sister, hear me now. Do you all remember the Arab Spring? One man was protesting, set himself on fire, and then the whole country grouped, and they stood on the streets protesting and demanding the removal of some old folks, power drunk folks. They succeeded. We saw it in Tunisia. We saw it happen even in Libya. We saw it happen in the Arab areas. If we are not careful, this is going to be the beginning of the West African Spring. My brother, my sister, Swaziland, that country, is also protesting seriously. If it starts in West Africa, it will be uncontrollable, because it looks like the youth have become extremely aggressive this time around. They have been taken for fool for too long. Only old men and women have the right to be rich in a lot of these countries. Look at Buhari in Nigeria. If an uprising starts in Nigeria, will the police be able to control the whole populace? How many policemen do we have in Nigeria? How many soldiers do we have in Nigeria? And don't take it for granted, some of the police are even tired of Buhari. Some of the soldiers are also tired of Buhari. And they will end up joining hands with the protesters. Same way in Ghana. Ghana has become very democratic. But out of the democracy, my brother, my sister, some rot has been happening in this country. And the old men and women in power do not even think that they owe us any apology or any explanation. £15,000 an hour to fly in a luxurious jet. No answer. 2 bathrooms on the plane. A polo ground on the plane for the president to ride his sleepy horse. An eating place that is so exotic that even Shi Hongti himself will marvel at that. My brother, my sister, Kandapa, Minister of Defense, or is it Minister of National Security? Yes, Minister of National Security, went flaunting his libidinous nature in front of a prostitute's camera. Up till now, they don't respect you enough to even explain to you, who are you after all? But if this was election time, Mr. President would get off his sleepy horse and come and try to explain to you why this happened. But now that he's president, he's got it. Does he owe you an explanation? After all, this is his last term of office. He doesn't need to tell you anything. My brother, my sister, this kaka thing, if they are not careful, if the police is not careful and handle this properly, if the nation is not careful enough to handle this, I fear what spillover effect this can have. I love this country. I want this country to remain peaceful. But peace is nothing if there's no equal rights. Need I say more? Need I say more, sir? Kaka, rest in peace. Kaka, rest in peace. This will not make us mute. This will not make us quiet. We will continue to talk. Listen to the reportage. That the youth walked to the police and said, just kill us. When the police started shooting in the air, they still charged. And the police started to shoot in the crowd. They dispersed for some time and regrouped. Jesus have mercy. The way Ghanaians are, one warning shot, pow! And everybody goes home to drink appetition and sleep. But now, gunshots in the sky don't even frighten Ghanaians anymore. My brother, the times are coming near. Police, go back to the drawing board, revise your skills, revise your morals, revise your ethics, and also revise your standards. Or else, that spring is about to outpour. To God be the glory. Pray for Ghana. Pray for this beautiful country. And pray for the sleepy president to wake up. He has slept enough. I thank you. I appreciate you. My name, Blakk Rasta, is been the Blackpot. Some of these politicians are